Alright, y'all, it's part two. Had to go in and eat, so I figured I'd just restart a video. But, anyways, excuse me. Wife cooked some really good pulled chicken casserole. It's really good. So, anyways, first things first, after you eat, chew time. So, anyways, I got the bolt underneath here loose, so it's ready to come off. The only thing is when you got the kill switch up here, you have to take off the starter cover to be able to get the rest of it out. I better take that bolt out before I lose it. And here's that bolt. It's the single bolt, so instead of taking these two screws out, you can take it out from underneath, and it's just one bolt. It's a pain in the butt to get to, and if you don't have a ratchet wrench, you're there for a while trying to get it out, because I mean that's fine thread, and it's, you know, it's a good 3/4 of an inch long. So anyway, I do recommend taking those out so at least you can pry it up and be able to get under there a little bit easier. So anyways, we're going to take off the starter cover. So you have a screw here, and then I have one missing, but there should be one right here, one underneath there, and then there's one down here, and then one up front. It's right here. So I've got a couple of them missing because these saws vibrate, and if you don't do a medium Loctite, you end up losing them, so you're ended up replacing them. I've had my starter cover completely come off while I was using it because I lost all the screws out of it. So anyways, let's take this off real quick, and then you gotta pull the cord from the coil. Excuse me. And there you go. Look at that. So what I'll do is, I know where these go, so I just throw them in the bin. But you take this, set it over to the side, because you're not going to need it until you put it back together. So this wire here, you pull this one off, and that frees that up. And you can pull this off. You got to pull the intake hose. There's a vacuum tube right here. Let's see if I can actually point it. It's right here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm sorry if you can't see it, but right here. And then you just take a screwdriver and just pry it off. Just be careful that you don't have a sharp screwdriver because you'll cut it. These things are hard to find. There we go. Okay. I was almost stabbed myself. So when I put this together, I put this stuff, and this is actually probably what caused my leak, but who knows. I put this on to seal it, but it didn't really work. So lessons learned, right? So there you go. That's the tank. Taking it off. So you can set this over its side. Not going to need it. And then I want to take this boot off because I believe this is what caused the vacuum leak. And that screw was loose. So, wonder if that was what really caused it. Find out. Make sure you don't, this is where the piston's at, so do not drop anything in here. Unless you have the piston all the way forward, and then you can just snag it back out. And take the back cover off. God, my hands are just not wanting to cooperate with me today. You still in frame? Yeah, okay. So this one's been Loctited. I don't even know if that's really even a word. I feel retarded. Take this off. There's that. And looks like it had a good seal to it. But I'm almost betting you that there's a hole around here somewhere. Because if you get slits around the boot, it creates a vacuum leak, which makes your saw not run right. Looks like it's in pretty good shape, at least on the inside. Yeah, I almost bet you that this was not sealing against here, and that's where the vacuum leak was coming from. So, I mean, there you go. There's the piston. It looks like it's scored pretty good, so I may end up having to replace it. It's quite loose too. Oh boy. A lot of slop in that. But you need to take the clutch off, which is, I believe it's a 5/8. I believe it is. Look at that. Nope, it's not a 5/8. God, I should have known that. No. Okay, well, I guess I don't know every single bolt size. So, let's see here. 13. No. 14. Look at that. Okay. Okay, so now I got the proper size, and the other side will be the same size, so. Well, my little impact does not have enough juice, so it's time to charge it up. Well, I'm running out of plugs, so I'll just unplug my heater for right now. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take I believe this is left-hand thread. Well, actually, you know what? Let's try it like this. Let's try it like that. Use a wrench on the other side. Let's see which way it turns. Okay, well, Well, so that side loosened. So let's that side tightened too. I normally can get them off with my little impact, but I guess not today. This is not professional at all, so don't judge, you know. I could have swore this one was right-hand thread. Could have swore it was right-hand thread. Almost got it. Let's regroup here. I need to find a way to lock up the flywheel without shredding the pin. That should work. That really works, did it? That sucker's on there for sure. It even has an arrow off this way, so I was right. Oh boy, just having one of those days, you know. Okay, now that that one's loose, I can take off the other one. I have to jam something in here. Okay, not exactly my idea of taking it off, but spread the wings. Excuse me. I don't necessarily recommend prying on these because they will break and then you'll just be completely screwed. But when you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. And then you just slowly pry it up. I can get them to budge at least a little bit. There we go. So there's your flywheel. All right. So when you pry these off, get under something solid and just kind of work it around, you know, rotate it so it comes off even. So if you cock it one way, so like you're prying it, you cock it one way, then it won't move. And then you'll just end up busting a flywheel key. You bust a flywheel key, good luck finding a new one. So here's the magneto cover. I'll have to take that off too. So because you can actually see that it was glued down, and I've already taken it off before when I rebuilt the saw the first time. And I ended up losing the screw because it didn't have this shop when I did it. I ended up losing the screw, and I ended up finding it like a month later. Took the saw completely apart again to put it back. There you go. So you're going to take this loose, this loose. Okay. Then you gotta find 1132. No? Well, that's not gonna get in there, so I think it's actually a quarter. Oh, that's neat. He's still in frame. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm loosening up the magneto, and there's this plastic piece that needs to come off. You do not want to lose any of this stuff, because you lose any of this, you won't get your saw fire back up again. This is what's called the points. This is where it's kind of like a distributor on a car. So it has its own way of creating its power. And then you know you got your I can't even think right now. I'm sorry, guys. But you just kind of slowly work it up. You find a hole. There you go. So you want to put everything back. So like this. Put this back. Okay, put this screw back where it went, where it came out. Okay, put your plastic piece in here, put it back together, you keep it clean that way, and then put the screw back in it. Right? Okay? And then you can set that off to one side so you have everything here. So when you go to put it back on, it ain't going nowhere. So set it out of where it's going to be out of the way. And you have like a little bushing. It's like a felt bushing. And there's some of that gasket. That's, you know, that's from the manufacturer, the gasket stuff that they use. So anyways, now you gotta take off the clutch. Off. Take the nut off and just pry it up. There you go. There's a clutch. Bearing. and then you have your jeez, I am throwing so many blanks today. I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever this is. Put it all back together. Put it off. Put it on where the way you got it off, just like that. Put the bearing in there, and then set it off to the side. And when you pick it up, you gotta make sure the bearing's there. You take off the plate, set that off to the side, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, well, you can actually take this off too. Take this screw off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blast this thing real quick just to clean it all up, and then so I don't, you know, not when I open it up, it's not completely dirty. So you want to clean it all up before you open it up, so you don't have any debris or anything like that floating on the inside of your cylinder or anything like that. You don't want that. It's like kind of putting like sandpaper inside your motor oil and then hoping that it's not going to grind up your bearings and it's going to last. It won't. So let's blow this thing off real quick. It's going to be a little loud, so kind of watch your ears. It actually went right there. Nope, I actually went to the clutch. Watch your ears. I gotta wait for my compressor to shut off. Alright, now that my compressor is shut off, blew it off, cleaned it up like a majority, got all the chunks off of it, stuff that is loose. Residual oil doesn't really matter. You're alright to deal with that. If you don't feel comfortable with it, just kind of take some like degreaser and clean, scrub around the areas and then blow it off. You don't want to soak it down with like water or something, but you can blow it off and it'll be alright. Gonna slowly pry this up. This is where the oil tank or the chain oil is held, but you have to take this off to split the cylinder. Oh, yeah, it's full of oil. Whoops. So, full of oil. Whoops. So, what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put it in a container, because this is actually fresh stuff. I put it in here just before I used it when it blew up. There's a lot of junk in there, though. I'll tell you that right now. So maybe I won't use this. I mean, the pump's got a filter in it, so it shouldn't really matter, but I don't want to put all that junk back in there. And this is not bar and chain oil. I use gear oil to lube my chain, because with these pumps, you got a manual oiler and a automatic oiler. And I am in an area where it's really, really cold, so it's beneficial to use gear oil instead of like bar and chain oil because it's so thick. So I would spray this out with some like brake clean or something, but I don't really have anything to do that with, so I'm just going to deal with it the way it is. I should have drained it and I didn't. I thought I did, but I didn't. So if you want to take this off, this nut for it, you got your screen. I'll probably clean that out just to make sure everything's clear out of it. But we're looking at, I believe it's an 8, and it is. Crack it, go over to the other side, crack it, crack it, crack it, and then take them out. You can just loosen them up for now, because on the outside you gotta take off more of these bolts. But so there's gonna be a bolt down in here. It's up against this wall right here. There's another one on this side down here, and then there's another one right down here, and then one up top. So there's 4 of them holding it together. But here's the thing. I don't have any shop towels either, which really sucks. I forgot to go to Costco's and buy some more. So, anyways, before you get too far with it, there's 8 mil right here. Oh, that's not 8 mil. That's a quarter. Those are all quarters. Look at that. See, I don't know everything. And I've taken the saw apart before too. So what I'll do is I'll kick this thing off. So there's one right here, and then there's 2 more on the other side. I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, you just want to loosen these things up. You don't want to stress out the metal too much. Well, let me leave it up like that. No, looks like I'm going to use a 1/4 wrench. Oh, I can't find my little mini quarter. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to get it out of my tool bag here. These are inch. Okay. So I ended up getting another tool set, and these little mini wrenches are perfect for something like this. So pull them out. Find your quarter. I did not see it. Oh, there it is. There, a little quarter, a little mini. Come in handy. They're not exactly the best, and I've got oil leaking everywhere. Got remnants of a couple blue shop towels. Wipe off my tools. I think that's gonna help. But when you do this, you always want to keep blue shop towels around. Alright. What did I do with it? Oh, I swear I'd lose my head if it wasn't on straight. Or if it wasn't attached to my neck. Let's see if 7 will work. That's not going to. I need to find that 1/4 inch, bigger wrench. The mini just doesn't work. Well, maybe I can find it a little bit smaller than just that 1/4 inch. Let's try the 7/32. Not gonna work. About a 5/16. Not gonna work. 15/64. Sure is tight. Not gonna work. It's just too tight. Let's try this 1/4 inch one more time. This is the hard part because with putting these on, they get super tight. They get super, super tight. See, there's too much slop with it. I don't understand. Maybe I'll try my my metric set. Because I got another set of these. Try my metric set. Here's a 6. Should be a 6.5. Huh. Let's try a 7. Well, that's way too loose. Let's try a 6 one more time. If I can't get this off, I'm screwed. It's not tight enough. Well, that's fail. Just gonna have to figure out how to take it off with the socket somehow. I may have to take the pump off. You don't want to take off a whole lot of stuff if you can help it. Because the more you take off, the more chances you have to lose stuff. So. Here goes my kid. What, baby?
Nana, you don't want to come say bye?
I can't at the moment. She can come here.
Oh. Nana!
Of course, my mom's about to leave, and I've got my hands full. Of course. Well, that's going to make it on the video, of course. What are we at? 37 minutes? Holy cow. Sorry for such a long video, guys. It's going to take a while to upload. That's why it won't come off. There we go. There we go. Well, you're gonna have to replace that gasket. Yep. Dang it. Did not want to do that. But, didn't have an option. When all else fails, use the liquid gasket. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I learned my lesson on that one. So, use a scraper. Back to you guys in a minute.